Lessons from plumbing and plumbing errors. Hey there, today I have a few stories to share that have helped mold me into the amazing plumber that I am. Well, I won a contest called the Expert Plumber, but back before that, let me tell you what, I made some mistakes. Luckily, not a lot, and luckily some of the mistakes I'm going to tell you about are mistakes other plumbers made, but I got to witness it or hear about it, so I know all about what really happened. Now, the first one is a mistake I've made. Now, you've seen the guy working under a cabinet, water's flowing everywhere, and he doesn't know where to stop it. Now, that did not happen to me, luckily, but I did work on a neighbor's house to my sister. I lived with my sister in Dallas for a while, went over and worked on their neighbor's house to help them out. I was trying to be nice. Didn't charge them anything, but I went in and redid an angle stop on their kitchen sink. And whenever I finished hooking up, I remember I was tightening it down. Of course, I had my plumbing license for a little while, but had never done a lot in residential kitchens, things like that. So I'm in here and I'm cranking down this angle stop and thought I had it really, really good. I leave, I go back to my sister's house. They had gone out of town. 2 days later, they called me back and said, Roger, we've got water coming out under the kitchen cabinet. I go in there and I open up the cabinet and I can tell the bottom is just, it's wet. So I climb up in the cabinet and I laid down and my whole shoulder fell through the bottom.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Billy.
The angle stop was just dripping. Now, the way they had stuff in there, they couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. Once I got stuff pulled out of the way, I saw it and I wanted to get in and see, was it the nut, the angle stop, or where? And the whole bottom fell out on me. Now, I should have known better than to lay on the particle board. I just thought, okay, it's wood, it's wet. First time that I learned that. Never let that happen again. So I did learn my lesson. But still, over tightening is what led to the problem. I learned later, snug it up, give it a little extra quarter turn, turn the water on, and watch it for a while. Now, believe it or not, I did watch it that day. It may have moved around due to the water pressure, turning it off and on, a vegetable sprayer, quick off and on the faucet, whatever, something moved around and it started leaking. Maybe I didn't check it long enough, but either way, that led to a problem. Now, this video is sponsored by the Trades Academy. If you want to learn more about how to get in the trades, how to become the best tradesman, how to start your own business, and how to use networking and social media to grow your business, go check out thetradesacademy.com or find the link at rogerwakefield.com. It'll get you where you want to go. One thing that I learned right then is mistakes are expensive. Now, I did pay to help them fix the bottom of the cabinet. I felt guilty about it. Mistakes are expensive. If you don't make mistakes, you're going to save that money. Now, I don't care if you're getting in the trades or you're just trying to be the best tradesman right now. Understand, take the time to check and double check yourself. And remember, mistakes are avoidable. After that, every time that I'd worked on angle stops, I literally put a piece of paper or paper towel up under it, went and did something else. Maybe I went and filled out the invoice. Do you use Jobber? It makes it really easy. I could fill it all right there on computer, but believe it or not, back then, I didn't even have an iPad. Back then, they didn't even make iPads or cell phones or anything like that. But I did learn, maybe I should check this a little bit longer. After that, literally putting the paper towel down, doing other things, getting back to it and checking it before I left is phenomenal. Little things like that can save you a lot of money. I'll tell you a story one time about a plumber I know didn't check things. He worked for a buddy of mine and he was out on a job. And all of a sudden, my buddy gets a call from the customer and says, hey, y'all might want to come back and look under this sink. It's leaking. And the guy says, well, have the plumber check it. Why he's still there? He said, the plumber left 45 minutes ago. He's done. Well, this plumber left and never told my friend who owned the company that he was leaving. Apparently, he needed to go shopping or to a movie or take his kids out. I don't know. Anyway, he went and left, goofed off, did other things. He had never put the P-trap back on after working on the drain. Never turned on the sink to check it, so he didn't know. He worked on the drain, loaded everything up, did not put the P-trap back on, but when the customer turned on the water, guess what? It flew all under the cabinet. Number one, test your work, double check it, make sure it works. But then number two, don't be where you're not supposed to be. If you're supposed to be on a job, stay there, do what you're supposed to do. When it comes to everything you do, remember, check it and double check it just to make sure. Now, I saw a plumber one time. We were on a commercial project and we had stubbed out copper drain arms. And I'd put him in a commercial kitchen. I was working on some other things. And I kept coming back and watching him. Remember the chrome 17 gauge P-traps? He had stuck one of those in the copper arm. He had his escutcheon on. Everything looked good. We weren't using trap adapters at the time. We were actually filing down the P-trap, sticking it in, and soldering the brass underneath to the copper. Well, he forgot the filing down part. Adjoining dissimilar metals is not good. I remember back when we first started doing water heaters, we would literally screw a male adapter right into the top of the tank. Carbon steel and copper. Well, then we went into the dielectric nipples and the dielectric unions to keep that from happening. A great thing to do. So I'll tell you at this point, if you're a plumber and you're out there and you're watching right now and think, yep, I've seen that before. What kind of other mistakes have you seen? What have you seen plumbers do that, to be honest, it's either lack of education or they're just in a hurry, they don't have the right things, whatever it is? Do me a favor, leave me a comment down below, because I'm sure you, the apprentices, or other plumbers that are out there would love to hear not just my stories, but other people's too. Now, another one, and this was a big one, and this was a friend of mine who was in a union. He was putting test balls in to test the storm system. And it was down in a lower level of the building, and they already had tables set up. They were actually inviting the building owners in for like a top out party. So the building had pretty much been topped out. They were doing some final tests, and they were testing the storm system. This was a big system. And apparently one of the main test balls blew. Well, my friend heard it. He heard the pop, he heard water, and he goes running downstairs, and he walked downstairs in time to see the water level rising. And he sees these tables getting wet, the chairs getting wet and moved around. All the food was in a bad spot too. What did he do? He just picked up his stuff and left. He literally got in the company truck, drove home. Now, of course, they tried calling him to find out what happened. He came back the next day, and he turned out not to get near as much trouble as you would think he would. But guys, here's the deal. If you make a mistake, own it. We've all got to learn from our mistakes. And that's why one thing I talk about all the time is whatever you do, never stop learning. This is a great trade, a great profession that we're in. And if you'll do everything you can to learn, to grow, to be the best tradesman. Now, notice I didn't say plumber because it really doesn't matter to me what trade you're in. If you're a plumber, pipe fitter, welder, electrician, HVAC tech, roofer, it does not matter. Keep learning your industry. There's new tools, materials, techniques, and equipment every day. Keep learning what's out there to learn how we can keep getting smarter and better and move us ahead of everybody else in our industry. I hope you love this information because it's what'll make you a better tradesman. And if you love this video, you're probably going to want to check those out.